One thing in quarantine that I'm loving is that, well, the online shopping. I mean, who doesn't love that all the time? But they like ring the doorbell and then you like go downstairs and then you go to the door and then your package is there. I live for home deliveries right now. Don't judge me.
Yeah, I need to come up here.
This week I'm living for home delivery. Back in Australia where I live at home, there's not a lot of delivery where we are. Like, we're kind of out in the sticks or like the rural area, and so a lot of places are like, we don't deliver to your area. So things like Uber Eats, you don't really have that, and like food delivery and things like that. So now here in quarantine I am milking it, and that also means I get to try HelloFresh now, because back in Australia where we live, they do not deliver to our area. So I got it. Finally get to try HelloFresh. Ooh, it's like cold. This is so cool. So you get to pick what meals you want as well. You can adjust it before they process what your order is. So I decided to get tortellini, one of my favorites. Chicken. Yum. What's this one? Oh, an Irish stew. I thought that would be perfect because it's like cold and winter here now. And this one. Nice. I wanted to try and get meals as well that I don't normally cook, so that I could have like a bit of variety coming into a new country, like what to make. These are so cute. Hello. I'm excited. I feel like I am definitely going to get a lot more HelloFresh. Like, I haven't even tried the food, which I will cook and show you guys after this. But I think just while I'm working full time, like, this is going to be super handy. And I honestly feel like it's a lot cheaper, especially because I'm just one person. Like, I don't have to cook for somebody else anymore. It's literally just me. And I think it's going to be so perfect. Like, it just comes, this little package, follow the card, and I don't have to like go grocery shopping. And I really think it's good for the price that you get, considering there's like meat included. You can also get vegetarian, dairy-free, gluten-free, like you can adjust it. I think this is gonna be awesome. All right, here we go, guys. I decided to get the creamy pesto cheese tortellini, that's a mouthful, out first because it is a little bit easier than the other ones. So while I'm super hungry now, I'm gonna try this one. And then when I'm less hungry, I'll try the other, like harder with the ones with the chicken. So let's open her up. So obviously in quarantine, I have a lot of time, so I've been watching YouTube videos, and I was watching this girl and she was like going to Starbucks and she goes, hey, can I have a pumpkin spiced latte? And I totally remembered that in Canada and the USA, they're like pumpkin spice crazy. So now I am on Uber Eats trying to look up what I want to order from Starbucks, because like we have Starbucks in Australia, but I feel like it's the thing like in Canada and the USA to like get a Starbucks or something, you know, like the novelty of it. And obviously in Australia they have different things compared to overseas. So like I think they have gingerbread and peppermint, but things like the pumpkin spice latte and like caramel creme brulee and things like that, I don't think Australia has that, or no one cares. So you gotta help me try and pick something. Like iced caramel brulee latte, cinnamon dolce latte. Like, I don't think we have that kind of stuff in Australia. Apple oat flat white, what? Oh my gosh, it's so hard to choose. Oh, so many good things. I heard this one's really good. I was watching another YouTuber and she gets this one. She said it's like Christmas in a cup, and there's like gingerbread, eggnog. Oh my god. Pumpkin spice creme frappuccino. I think I'm gonna get this one. Ooh.
What's that?
They put a little heart on the bag with my name on it.
Oh,
That's so cute. That tastes so good.
To report any potential symptoms. If you have a fever, press 1. If not, press 2. If you have a cough, press 1. If not, press 2.
Most of the days in quarantine have been really fine. Like, I've been setting up my room and trying to learn about like what I'm close to and where things are, and just watching heaps of YouTube videos and trying to, I think, kind of look into jobs and things that I want to do after the winter and later now. So 2 days ago, and I was just so sad. I woke up sad. I cried about everything, anything that went wrong or remotely inconvenient. I was just sad and cried, and I just had a really sad day. And I was like, I guess I didn't understand why I was so sad, because I've been mostly fine. And then I woke up the next day and realized, and it was all totally just PMS, which is good, but at the same time I think it just really brought up like how I'm really feeling, and I'm trying to not be sad, because I know that there's going to be so many amazing things to come, and there's going to be heaps of adventures. Look forward to that stuff and being excited instead of just dwelling on what's happened that I can't control and being sad about it. Sad, I was much better, but I still kind of just thought about things a little bit. I mean, I have a lot of time to think. I mean, look at this place. Today I'm going to take you guys along on a little bit of a self-care day. These videos can be super helpful for people who are either experiencing the same thing or have recently gone through the same thing or are going to go through the same thing. I've had a ton of messages either on Facebook or Instagram about people saying that they've gone through something so similar this year and they've just had it happen to them, and how helpful it is. And that's a really big thing. I think I mentioned this in the last video. Matthew McConaughey did a piece and he said, it's not a solution that I'm looking for, it's just knowing that I'm not alone. And that translates to, like, if you're going through something, if you know that you're not the only person or that you're not the only one to experience something, there's like a really sense of being okay, I guess. So that's kind of my whole point about sharing this stuff. Today I'm having porridge for breakfast with real maple syrup from the motherland. How good. Before I do some other things today. But yeah, it's definitely important to just look after yourself in every way possible, including with food. If something really traumatic or sad happens, it's natural to be put off by food for a little bit. But you definitely don't want to be like purposely restricting yourself or taking it out on your body and things like that. So yeah, if you're kind of having a down day, have a snack. Or in reverse, if all you do is go to food, try and work on that a little bit instead of falling into old habits or repetitive behavior. If you're someone who overeats too much, kind of see what you can do to help yourself about that. Example is like only eating when you're hungry, or having some water, or even having an eating schedule. So setting up times in the day around activities that you're doing for food. Just to repair that relationship around food a little bit better. I have 2 more days left in quarantine. So good. It hasn't been super bad, but it's just like you just get bored and you just go a little crazy. And I think as well, like, you kind of have no purpose to get up or like to do anything. And I know I've heard that quite a lot through this whole year as well, but it's so true. Like I've been trying to get my sleeping pattern back on track because of like traveling from overseas and trying to get in a good schedule ready to go back to work. And literally, like, I set an alarm and then I snooze it, and I don't know, I just can't get into the rhythm of it. And it's because I'm just not getting up for a reason, or if I get up too early, like I want to get up early, but then I get up too early and then I've got nothing to do for like such a longer amount of time. It sounds pretty sad, but it's kind of like what people are going through in this quarantine thing. On my Instagram as well, I shared a couple of pictures about some things that people have been doing with their time in the hotels. So anyway, because you spend all day every day literally in just your comfies, you kind of like lose a little bit of, you know, you don't have that presentation about yourself, and you don't have to put on makeup and things like that. So anyway, today I'm going to put on some makeup and do my hair just because I want to, just for me, just for me. With this makeup that I'm doing as well, I'm also going to do, okay, look, let's be real for a minute, totally surrendered to the TikTok thing. But honestly, because I love making videos, like I've always done the YouTube thing, but it's always just been about traveling and like things like that. TikTok is like a really cool creative platform for people who want to create videos. And yes, there is a lot of weird stuff or like random stuff on there, but it's also a really good creative opportunity for people who want to take more artistic approach to it. Anyway, with my makeup today, I'm also going to do a little TikTok, but it's one that's a bit of a trend, and I'll probably post it on here after I film it because I think it's gonna be really cool. Otherwise, you can just find me on my TikTok. But I don't really want to promote it too much or like get a lot of people on there, because it's kind of just like my own little platform, my own little space, because nobody really has my username except for now because I just posted it. But it's about when your voice is taken away from you and recovering from that. So if you're somebody who has I guess been abused in some way, emotionally, physically, mentally, it will probably resonate with them a little bit more. The hardest thing about my current breakup and having to part without Jean-Luc is that the person that I was dating before him, and I have to be very careful with what I say because YouTube is my most public platform, so I will choose my words carefully, but it didn't end very well. The breakup itself was okay, we had really nice healing words, but the aftermath that came after it has been wild for me personally, and I really struggled mentally to the point where there was definitely self-harm involved, which my parents do know about, and resorted to alcohol. I would drink instead of eat dinner, full-blown into anorexia again, just would not eat food. Yeah, just was a total mess. And it can be really hard when you feel like your voice is being taken away from you and that you have no say, or when that person takes over your ability of freedom of speech, I guess. And even now I have to be careful because of the repercussions that could come from it. it's been like 3 years now since that, but I still received things at the beginning of this year from that group. So it's very hard. And when I met Jean-Luc, I was that complete mess, and he kind of was the only person who kind of really just did my makeup, who took some time to sit with me and talk to me and actually give me 5 minutes. So Jean-Luc came to me when I was at my absolute worst, and he made it better again, and for that I will always be so grateful for. He was literally just an angel this whole last 2 years, and that's a lot for anyone to take on, but he did it. He restored what little faith I had in life again, and that's what made me love him so much. So when he left, it was a whole floodgate of fear, because I was so safe and happy with him, and the idea of not having him beside me when he left, I said, I'm scared. But one thing he said to me is just don't settle for anything less than what he was, or even go for better than what he was. So if you've had an experience like that, where you've experienced the worst and you have this closed off fear about going into the world with new people or trying again or anything like that, I had to take a minute. But yeah, just really trust that where you're going now is going to be so much better than what you've experienced. And I think when you do go through something like that, it really shows you what you want out of life, and it helps you to build boundaries and standards for your, not just for yourself, but like for the relationship that you want and things like that. So I guess for me, I suppose I want to say that I've experienced the worst and now the best. And so getting myself in a position where I'm happy to accept new people into my life and things like that is going to have a lot more boundaries when the time comes, because I know what I don't want and I know what I absolutely want. So the crappy thing about life is that we have to have lessons out of these situations. I think that's what makes me the most angry, is like, why does it have to be like this? Like, why so extreme just to get a lesson out of life, you know? But it's, you know, in the heart of it, that's true. Like, I just feel like Jean-Luc was there to be my support and to help me get myself back together so that I could move forward and experience way more happier and new things. And yeah, it was a lot to go through for him and with him and things like that, but it's just going to take us where we need to go, and I will always be so thankful and adore him for what he's done for me. And I just, yeah, he just makes me so happy. And it's not a bad thing that he chose to leave. That's his life decision, and I'm not going to stop him from doing what's best for him, and we still get to be like best friends. So yeah, I guess that's the best outcome I could ask for in this situation. And now I just need to work on what I want to do and move forward with myself. And I know that I have to get comfortable with being on my own. That's one thing especially if you don't know me, I am an only child, so I've always hated being on my own, and not being alone as in not in a relationship, just being alone, like not having people beside me. I hate it. I hate being alone so much. So I feel like life is trying to make me be more independent, and as much as I hate it, I know I have to do it. Anyway, this is what my little 12-second TikTok video is going to be about. Don't let anyone take your voice away from you, and just know you can rise up again and move forward and have so much better than what you've experienced. Okay. That video took way longer than I expected it to, but I really wanted to do it justice because of the message that I knew was behind it. And even if people don't really connect with what the video is about, I think ultimately it's just for me, just to try and empower myself again after having so much confidence knocked out of me, I guess. And even though it was a few years ago now, like 4 years ago now, it was still emotionally damaging, I guess. You know, you don't need to go to the war and military to experience PTSD or anxiety disorder. It can just be a really eventful experience, and that's what it is for me. So it's a long healing process when you go through something like that, and that's what it was for me. And yeah, it's just all part of it. But I'm glad I'm glad I did it. So something really interesting that I'm also doing today is I'm going to get a tarot card reading with a lady called Ree. Emily passed me on her details and said she was like spot on when she called her. Emily went to America to work right in the middle of the pandemic and was feeling really uncertain about what she was doing, and talked to Ree, and she pretty much was spot on with what she told Emily.
Or whatever it is, I feel like you need to do it from a place of like, it makes me feel good, and that's of enough of a reason to continue doing it. Because the icing to the cake is the result, but the foundation is how it makes you feel. And I think you need to focus way more on how you feel each day, and that, because being in a happier state of mind and having a healthier mindset is a bigger and better result than money or weight could ever give you. And it's one of those things that you don't realize until you're there and you're like, this makes sense. Because, you know, you've probably heard 1,000 people get to a size 8 or a size 6 and they're like, oh, if I just lose this little bit more, and you just eye roll and be like, are you kidding me? It's all because it's in their mind. They're focused on the result and not how they feel. So your task is to show up and do things consistently that make you feel really good. Potential, and I'm going to also put this with renewal, because with this, you have, like, I feel like I'm going to mother you right now. You have so much potential. Like, it's just disgusting how much potential you have. Like, you are capable of so much, and I feel like you really have no idea. And I think you just need to, like, you just got to lean into that fear. I feel like fear really has a good grip on you, and you kind of have to shake it off. And unfortunately, there's no real way to solve that fear except leaning into the fear.
I think it's 4:30 p.m. or like, no, I think it's after 5 actually. I probably should have checked. But it gets really dark here really quickly because it's winter. So it's already super dark outside. And I'm going to be doing some foam rolling, which I've actually really been loving. I tried to do this a couple of times, but I never really knew like what I was doing and why I was doing it. And then I watched a YouTube video on what to do, how to do, and why to do it. And now I am seeing the results, and damn, you need to get yourself one of these if you don't. So yeah, gonna warm up, do some stretches, do some foam rolling.
Down the hill, summer breeze came from the sea. Time dances, colored pills, morning sex under the tree.
I hope you guys enjoyed this little self-care part of the video. My room is really blue because I have these lights that Chris gave me as a housewarming gift. They're really cool though. But I'm just going to put on my Calm app now and pretty much just relax to go to sleep. Yeah, this part kind of got a little bit more in depth than I thought it would, but I think it's really good. I think it's really helpful to other people. So this is the Calm app, literally called Calm, and they have, like, I've got my sleep music on. They have sleep music and stories. They have meditations, and they do like little themes in each of the meditations. And then they have heaps of different music. They even have some Disney music as well, which is amazing. It's so cool. And a lot of celebrities do some guest talking on here. So the spark is a lot of different people. So Katie, she's just been added on. She is a mental health psychologist. She's actually a YouTuber, and she's amazing. Matthew McConaughey, he did a really amazing piece too. Anyway, I love this app. I've used it for like 4 years now, and just love it so much.